They need to find like somebody who speaks the language, file a report.
Right.
And I just talked to the owner of the hotel. And she said, "Oh, the policeman came and paid for him to sleep here."
Wow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Korea Unfiltered. Today's episode is going to be an exciting episode for those people who want to run a startup, who want to start a business. I think today you guys are going to get a lot of information from someone who I believe is one of like the bigger startups owners, peoples. Chris is like, I'm not sure about that. But introducing today's guest, Chris. Woo! Hi, Chris. Welcome to the show. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Chris, and I come from Bulgaria. I don't know if your audience knows where this country is, right?
Tell us, because I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, a lot of people confuse it with Bolivia, and that's a totally different continent.
Yeah.
So Bulgaria is like a 7 million, like the same size of Korea.
Okay.
It's pretty okay size. Like imagine the size of Korea.
From the States. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a lot of people in the
States.
Okay,
but it's in Europe. So if you know where Turkey and Greece is, we're just above Turkey and Greece.
Okay, I do know where Turkey is. Okay. Yeah. What language do you guys speak?
So we speak Bulgarian language. And we have really interesting history. Our alphabet is called Cyrillic.
Yeah,
and a lot of people confuse it with the Russian. People think that this is the Russian alphabet, but no, it's the Bulgarian alphabet invented in Bulgaria and spread out in the region through the Slavic languages. Yeah. So we are very proud with like if you get the European Union note, it has 3 languages. It has English for the Euro, and it has Greek, and it has Bulgarian with the Cyrillic. So I come from the country of Bulgaria.
That's big. That's interesting. Not gonna lie, at first when I met you, I also thought you were Russian because I feel like a lot of people do feel like.
Do I have a Russian accent?
I don't know. I don't know. At first I was like, is he Russian? I think also because Korea has so many Russians, I was just being very ignorant and I just put you in that box until you told me you're from Bulgaria. And I was like, where is that? Because I did not know where that was. But that's really cool. That's very different.
It is. I don't mind, but it's like, you say you're American and I refer to you as a Canadian.
Then you'd be like yeah, I know what you mean. Then that's obviously why people should ask before assuming. It was a bad assumption, guys.
It's okay.
But it's interesting to know about Bulgaria. Like, is there a community of Bulgarians in Korea?
It's pretty small community, I can say. They're mostly like university students and a few other people that do businesses or have married Korean people. It's very tiny though. Very tiny.
And how did you end up coming to Korea? Like, what made you come to Korea?
Do you want the long story or the short story?
We love a long story on this channel. Okay, give us the long story.
The long story is pretty interesting actually. Like when I was in Bulgaria like 7 years ago, almost 8 now. So like it was like summer like that, pretty hot, and I was in my office, and in the morning you grab a coffee and you just go through the emails, and I was like deleting. It's so much spam. And there's like a really long email in Bulgarian, Cyrillic.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, what is this? It's too long. I cannot read it. I was about to press delete. And then I start reading, and there was like, hey, I'm a Bulgarian, but I actually study in South Korea, and one of the universities that I work with is doing a really interesting program. They want to do technology exchange with Bulgaria, and this got me interested because at this time I did have my own company, like tech company, but also was pretty active on the startup scene, so like organizing startup events. I was like together with a team of other people, we were organizing the biggest startup conference in the country.
Oh, wow.
It was kind of grassroots, but very cool. So I had like pretty good knowledge about the ecosystem. And as a small country, you always want to help other people, right? Because like the success of one company brings attention to the whole community.
That's true.
So I was like, wow, South Korea. In my mind is like, okay, Samsung, LG, innovation.
The norm, technology.
So it's like, well, that's pretty cool. Why did they pick Bulgaria? But anyway, I was like, okay, I'm going to answer her. And she jumped on a call and we start working together. for a couple of months, giving her names of startups, and she was like trying to interview and see if there's going to be interest in between like what technologies that actually the universities here were looking for, and if there's a match. So I remember a couple of months later, I was in Berlin.
Yeah.
In a cool coffee shop, like just chilling, enjoying my, startup life,
hipsterish
startup life in
so
Berlin.
Yeah.
And she calls me. We were using Skype by then.
Oh, that's
Do you
Skype.
remember that?
Of course. Now it's Zoom these days.
Yeah, but it was like
Skype.
these days.
Yeah,
It was Skype.
Skype was the
So
thing
she's
back
like,
then.
calling me, and I just went out of the coffee shop. She's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, Chris. The university changed their mind. They don't want to do technology exchange with Bulgaria anymore. They're going to Israel." And I'm like, okay.
Interesting. That's an interesting change. Okay.
I mean, it makes total sense because like Israel's like startup ecosystem there is really big.
Oh, okay.
And there's so much tech. It's related to the military and there's like, it's the startup nation.
Yeah.
So outside of Europe, if you look for like a startup place,
It's usually Israel.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. So it made total sense. I was not offended, but she felt a little bit like, that she let me down. She really wanted to bring me to a conference or something. It's like, because it was totally, no compensation. It was like, okay,
you were just helping.
Yeah, I was just helping.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she's like, oh, I'm gonna find another opportunity. I'm like, Slovena.
That's
Her name
really
was
nice of
Slovena.
her, though.
And I'm
That's
like,
a beautiful name, Slovena.
yeah, Bulgarian name.
Slovena.
So I was like, you don't have to do anything. I did it for the ecosystem. I really enjoyed, working with you. But she kept saying, oh, I'll find an opportunity. And then, the conversation finished and I forgot about it. And 2 months later, she's like, on Skype again, hey, I found a really interesting program for you. You need to apply for this program. Like, I'm okay. Korea is so far away.
And you've never really thought about Korea at that time, right? Yeah.
No, I mean, I knew about Korea. I mean, but I was not into K-drama, K-pop, any of that.
You were not like, I have to go to Korea. You were just like, okay,
I have
cool.
no idea I will end up living in Korea,
wow,
actually.
Okay, yeah.
So she kept calling me and she's like, oh, this program is so good for you. You need to apply. And then one day before the deadline, she's calling me. She's like, if you don't apply, I'll apply for you. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't force me. And then I felt bad because I knew she's doing this from her, good heart, but she really wanted to help me experience Korea. And I was not really understanding why she's so insistent, but I'm actually pretty thankful.
Oh my God, because you're here now.
Yeah, exactly. Because of her effort, right?
Yeah.
So I just, went and like I looked at them for first time, the day before they closed the application. For first time I looked like, let me see this application. It's like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Took me 10 minutes.
To finish the whole thing?
Yeah, it's like, I was like, I don't care. I mean, I'm just like, I just
you weren't trying to get it. You were just like, if it happens, it happens.
I just wanted to feel good that I did what she wanted me to do and close this thing, right?
Yeah.
And I just like pushed send and I forgot about it. I didn't tell my co-founders that I applied for some opportunity in South Korea.
Yeah.
It was like, I just deleted it from my brain. It was just like, okay, I've done it.
I did it.
I feel
That's
good.
it.
Yeah, you asked me for do it. I did it for you. No problem.
Okay, and then fast forward, what happened?
Fast forward, in Korea, back then I didn't know, but like, they're pretty good in organizing stuff, but sometimes everything is like kind of last minute, right?
It's usually, even when it comes to modeling and shoots, last minute, everything.
It's like, oh, can you come tomorrow?
Oh, by the way, we have a shoot tomorrow. And you're like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
So exactly this happens. So they're like, oh, I get an email and like this, oh, you've been approved for like pre-screening. Your slot is tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I'm like, for what? I had to just like, it took a couple.
You forgot about it.
I totally forgot. So I'm like, okay, I called my co-founders like, oh, there's this opportunity in South Korea. I'm not really sure what it is, but I applied and they want us to do like an online interview on Skype again.
Wow,
so, in the startup world, like you do a lot of like pitching. It's called pitching where like you have like 10 minutes to tell the investors or whoever is interested about your startup. And we just had like a short discussion and we said, okay, let's do it. Like it's one more practice.
Right.
And probably we're going to get some feedback, right?
True. It might be helpful. Yeah.
So, we did, and we had like, they had a couple of questions. It went pretty okay. And then nothing for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, okay.
You forget it again.
Yeah. And then another email. Oh, there's a second screening. You need to do it tomorrow.
Again with it tomorrow.
Yeah. And we did the second screening. It went really good.
Yeah.
So I had like a good feeling, but I didn't know what to do with it, right? It was not really planned.
Yeah.
How long can I go with this story?
Oh, keep going.
Okay.
We have time.
Okay. So we got an email. Oh, you've been accepted to K Startup Grand Challenge. That's the name of the program, and it was the first year they were organizing.
Yeah.
And it was organized by NIPA. It's like a government body, National IT Promotion Agency, and it was run down in Pangyo. So I didn't know how far Pangyo is from Seoul, but Pangyo, if you're in Korea, it's like 20 kilometers.
Yeah, it's like
south.
under Gangnam.
Yeah,
like
but it's really nice area. It's like a startup hub. They call like
Yeah.
the Silicon Valley of Korea.
It's like a new area.
Yeah.
Super nice. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we accepted. And then I continue reading. It's like, oh, this is your ticket. You have to come to Korea in 5 days.
What's up with the last minuteness of all this?
For 40 days.
And you have to pack in 5 days for those
Yeah.
40 days.
Yeah. And it was...
That is so Korea.
And it was in the middle of August. And like a week later, I had like a holiday plan, like a trip.
Wow.
And I'm like...
So it's like my holiday or this opportunity?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going.
To the holiday or the Korea thing?
No, to the Korea thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so you never went?
Originally, I didn't go.
Yeah.
I sent my co-founder.
Oh, okay. I was like, you just gave up on the opportunity? Okay.
I was like, I have no idea what is this.
Yeah.
It might be good, might be not. I'm not, I was not aware what I'm missing out, So I'm like, okay, let's my co-founder go.
You can go, yeah.
And actually we find out that there's like another screening on the ground. So basically they invited 80 startups all over the world.
That's a lot.
So they put them together for a couple of weeks, and there was like another pitching event in front of investors and a jury and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, my co-founder, you go.
Have fun.
I'm gonna go.
And have fun. Yeah.
And I'm on my vacation, and he calls me. He's like, Chris, I like Korea, but they put us in a dormitory in Suwon.
In Suwon?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was like middle of August, right? And because they were organizing it for first year, I think they're like...
So they didn't know what they were doing technically.
Yeah, kind of.
You guys were
Yeah,
experiments.
I don't want to say it, but
I'll say it. You guys were experiments.
Yeah, we were a little bit.
Yeah.
So they put him in a university dormitory, and they forget to pay for the AC. And he was sharing a room with another guy.
Oh my god.
And also they forgot to pay for the Wi-Fi.
And you guys are all business people, and you don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And they also had had to go to eat in the canteen, you know, like food. And they had like a foreign cafeteria, a foreign counter and a Korean counter. And as a foreigner, everybody wants to try the Korean food.
Of course, you don't want to try the foreign stuff.
Yeah,
You're in
but
a
they're
new
like,
country.
oh, no, Korean is too spicy. You just eat like the foreign one.
You spaghetti over there.
Yeah, and
don't take the kimchi.
you know how good foreign food in Korea is.
That's a joke if you guys didn't hear. That's a joke. It's not good.
So Georgi, my co-founder, is like, I really like it, but if they accept us in the next phase, we're going to switch. I cannot do it.
Yeah. Because that sounds horrible.
I'm like, okay. I guess
As you're on vacation, you're like, okay, I'm on vacation. Yeah.
So I'm, happy, recharged after my vacation. He calls me, oh, we got through the next stage.
Okay,
You're coming.
Yeah. So you had to now go.
Yeah, and I come in the middle of September.
Yeah.
It's not that hot anymore.
It's getting chilly now. Yeah.
So they figured out the program, and they said, oh, you have, some pocket money for you. So you just go ahead and like spend them and rent an apartment. And I'm like, okay, with the money was really good.
Oh, it was good.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, I expected it to be bad because everything was not so good till then. Wow.
Compared to what the program was like, oh my God, I can live in Gangnam.
Wow, it was really good then.
It was so good.
Oh wow. Okay, I guess they were saving money by giving you guys this nasty food. Well, not nasty, but not the best food.
I think they're just kind of trying to figure out what's going to be a level of satisfaction of a startup coming from Europe or from America to live comfortably, in Korea.
In Korea, yeah.
So I think they're a little bit more generous. They have to be. They adjusted after us, after our year, but like the money was so good. Oh my God. And I'm like here in Korea and it's not that hot and I have my like a fancy loft apartment in Gangnam, oversee, like on 20th floor and like a Namsan view and
I'm jealous.
And I called Georgi's like, what didn't you like about this country?
You're like, dorm? What dorm?
Yeah. So yeah, long story. But this is how I came to Korea.
Yeah. And how long ago was this?
It was 2016.
That was a long time.
I know.
Oh,
how long have you been here?
So I came, my first time was 2014 actually.
Oh,
but I was just visiting for 2 weeks. But I've been here since I would say end of 2018. So it's been like almost 7 years now. But 2016 is a long time ago.
It's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Yeah. How was that first initial like feeling of being in Korea?
Like when honestly, it comes to, it was really exciting. Not because, I told you K-pop, K-drama, but it is totally different world from what I'm used to. I mean, I didn't travel that much in Asia beforehand. Before coming to Korea, I was, pretty well traveled in America and Europe, but it's
it's not the same.
Different.
Yeah, Korea is not the same.
So I was in Singapore before that, but even compared to Singapore, it's
not the same.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I was so excited because everything was so new.
Yeah.
And
were you scared at all?
I wasn't scared like my parents were.
Oh, your parents were scared.
Like you're so close to North Korea.
Oh my God, my parents were the same.
Yeah.
Same.
And this year, 2016, was pretty kind of like shaky year. There was a little bit of tension going on during this time. So all my friends like, how is it? Are you afraid of living in Seoul? And like, what are you talking about? It's
right.
so
when
amazing.
you came, nobody cares about North Korea in South Korea.
No.
Like no one talks about it.
No, and you ask them about North Korea, and they're like, they're not even interested.
They're like, they're not gonna do anything. We don't care.
Yeah.
And all the foreigners are like, oh my God, North Korea is gonna attack, and South Koreans are like, they threaten every year to attack, and they're not attacking. It's literally how it is. How has it been running a startup while traveling? Because I know you travel a lot. Like, I think every time I check your Instagram, you're not in Korea.
Yeah.
You're somewhere else.
I mean, I travel around Korea as well, but I do travel a lot. Sometimes it's for work, like for my startup. Sometimes it's just for leisure. I think it's pretty okay if you get into the routine of doing things the way you can manage.
Right.
So what I mean is like my team, you can assume it's back in Bulgaria, right? Because Bulgaria is pretty tech country. So there's a lot of really good engineers and the cost of living compared to Korea is pretty okay, lower than here. So as a startup, you always want to save money. You don't want to, spend too much.
Everything,
So all our tech developers and most of the founders are in Bulgaria. So this creates two problems and one opportunity. The two problems is that I'm, far away, so I'm not really always in sync with everything that they do. And the second problem is time difference. So it's like 6-7 hours behind. So basically I wake up and it's midnight for them. So in the beginning I would be like, I wake up and I'm like, okay, let's check my emails and go to a coffee shop. Coffee shops don't open at 8 o'clock, right?
They don't.
This is like what?
Yeah.
Like I need coffee in the morning. Why do they
open
at 12? Who drinks coffee at 10 p.m.? I was so
At 9 a.m., 8 a.m., nothing is open.
Because this was my ideal schedule. Like, okay, wake up, go to a coffee shop, work, And then I start I was living in Shinonhyun, full of coffee shops. First week, this coffee shop, that coffee shop, none of them work at 8.
It's like, I feel like maybe it's when people start work and lunchtime comes around and then everybody's like, okay, let's open. People are at lunch. But before then, you got to make that coffee at home.
So, these are kind of like disadvantages, but the advantage, I actually realized that later on, because even as a startupper, you want to have like kind of some sanity and balance in your life, right?
Yeah.
So I figured out it's not really good for me if I wake up, start working on emails and do stuff, and then around 3 p.m., they wake up and they're super active, you know. So I'm at the end of my workday, but they're just starting. And when it's 8 o'clock for me, it's just like midday for them, and the emails keep coming, and you know. So you end up working from 8 till 10 in the night, right? Ooh. And it's not sustainable. You cannot manage.
It sounds very tiring. For sure.
It is like, but when you're building something your own, you want to do it, right? Like it's like you running this thing.
I'm still here. yeah. It's like you're doing it 24/7 almost, if you think about it.
But then you do it for a couple of months and for a year and two, and you feel like, you know, exhausted.
I bet.
So then I figure out that this is not going to work long term.
Yeah.
Me being in Korea and I'm pushing this way, because it just like doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So what I start doing is like set aside the mornings for me, and I just log in when they wake up.
Oh, wow.
So this cleared up like most of the day.
Yeah.
And then I figure out if I push myself and stay concentrated, I can actually finish the things that I need to finish before it's midnight. Yeah. So like when you're tired and you know you have to do it, you just do it and like
just have to do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And not like waste time. So this was the opportunity actually to explore Korea and this beautiful nation. So I had my mornings cleared up, and also because it's a tech startup, you don't have to be all the time like meeting other people. A lot of things are online. You know how good internet is here.
It's
everywhere.
Super fast.
You go on the top of the mountain, 5G.
Still Wi-Fi. Yeah, and you're just like, oh.
So I started traveling, and like I'll be like in a Buddhist temple. I'm just gonna open like my laptop in the cafeteria on the tea house. Yeah. 5G. I can do like meetings and everything.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. I've never thought about that part of Korea. I mean, I know obviously Wi-Fi in Korea is great, but I've never thought about that aspect of people who run a business. You know, you're moving around and you do need Wi-Fi or internet, and it's great everywhere you go in Korea.
Yeah. Even though Korean way of working is associated with the office, you need to be in the office,
that's
right?
That's true. Yeah.
So they're like, oh, why do you work from a coffee shop? Like, what's the difference if I'm sitting on my desk and like looking at the boring window?
Cubicle. Yeah, it's like it's the same, but like remote work is not common at all in Korea.
It changed a little bit during COVID.
Yeah.
And I was really hopeful they're gonna adopt it, but. They're back to the
office
9
work.
to 5.
Yeah. They're all like turgun, like everybody's going on with the suits and whatnot. Yeah, it's not common at all. Do you consider yourself a digital nomad, by the way?
I mean, I'm an expat, and by default, you're partly a digital nomad, right? Like I do, because also my job allows me to be a digital nomad.
Right.
Because like if you like have like a 9 to 5 job, you cannot be a digital nomad. But honestly, I just can grab my laptop and go to Bali tomorrow, and that's not going to affect much of my work.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's really nice. But I'm like, obviously you've worked really hard to get here. I bet.
I mean, there are a lot of challenges. Because somebody needs to make money to pay the bills, right? And you know, you have the freedom, but the freedom comes with responsibilities.
So I bet it's so many responsibilities.
Yeah,
right. Wow. What has been your favorite thing about like running your startup in Korea so far? Minus the internet.
I mean, it's the freedom, and also Korea can be seen as very diverse when it comes to tech.
Yeah.
The country is early adopters, like full of early adopters. Like every new technology, every new thing, people are not afraid to try.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So this is really good for like tech startups like ours. We develop an image recognition technology, image AI.
Oh,
so,
okay.
It's been really interesting, to collaborate and work with like some of the big brands here.
Yeah.
So we've seen that if they need the technology, they can move really fast. It's different way of doing business,
right?
In general, compared to Europe, but if they want and need the technology, they can move really fast.
A lot faster.
So this is something that I really like.
Yeah.
And also, there's like a bunch of other opportunities when it comes to business, like the support of the Korean government and various opportunities.
Okay. What's your visa currently? Like what visa?
So it's very specific type. It's called startup visa. It's D84.
So D8/4.
D8 is like the D8 group is like called investor visa.
Okay.
So it's kind of like considered like more like privileged, like a little bit harder to get.
Yeah, yeah.
And D8/4 is not too easy to get, but it's not impossible.
Okay, because I'm guessing they have to first check out your startup, make sure it's a legit startup, and then run a whole bunch of checks before giving you that visa, right?
Basically, it's like a point system.
Oh, okay, like the F visa.
So you have to collect 80 points, but the points doesn't come easy. So right.
I know the F visa is also very hard to get. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you run us through some things that, if you're comfortable speaking on
yeah,
it,
totally.
can you run through some things that you had to do to get your D8/4 visa?
Yeah. So the hard requirements, you cannot get it without it. You have to have a master's degree. So this is like, the ground.
Baseline.
Yeah,
That's
baseline.
the basic. Yeah.
So you don't have it, you
You're not
cannot.
getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, every single thing gives you points, but there are a couple of must-have things that you need to work to get. So the master's is one of those, so you cannot get it without it. And then comes a program called Oasis. So basically, there's a program where you can go through educational courses, how to do startup, how to do business in Korea.
Okay.
There are like a couple of Oasis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, like different courses.
Yeah, yeah.
And it takes time to get through these courses,
Right,
but then they give you points. And then the last thing is that you really need to open a company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and opening a company with the idea that you're going to have like some kind of a tech related business, it's not, it's not going to be probably possible to pass, the requirements if you want to open like a coffee shop or this kind of business.
So it has to be like in the tech world or something super, super serious, basically.
It needs to be like technology based. Like it can be some kind of like a web service or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it needs to be technology based.
Okay, to get it. Okay.
Yeah. So if you, get kind of these points, and also if you participate in a government-sponsored program like the K-Startup Grand Challenge, or there are a couple of others, that gives you extra points.
Wow, everything is a point for
Yeah,
sure.
everything is a point, and you can get point also for a patent or for a design patent. So there's ways you can get points, and it takes probably 6 months to prepare for this visa. But if you know what you're doing and you get everything straight, I think it's very possible. The problem is maintaining the visa, because getting it can be done, but then there is another requirement. It's income based.
Oh, so after you get it, you have to have a certain income.
Yeah, so
to
basically
keep it.
you have to, you open your company, you have to be employed by your own company. So you cannot like just get the visa and go work for somebody else. It meaning that you have to have some business going on, right? And you have to be able to maintain it and prove that you're generating income first for the company and then second for yourself.
For yourself.
Yeah.
It sounds hard to get, for sure.
It is, but there are like enough, I think, from the expat community, there are enough people who are pretty entrepreneurial.
So they've probably also gotten it
I
done.
think it's a great opportunity for this kind of people.
Okay, that's great. I've never heard of a startup. I wonder if the States has one. I've never heard of a startup visa. This is the first time I'm hearing one.
A lot of countries have introduced, like there's a similar visa in Japan, there's like in Chile, and in Europe we also have like startup visa. For the US, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Because even a normal visa is hard to get
Everything
in
is so
America.
hard,
Everything is just so, they make it so difficult to get in that country. It's crazy.
Because everybody wants to be there, right?
yeah, as an American.
The American dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even attained it, but whatever. But would you recommend someone to come to Korea the way you came to Korea?
Totally, yeah. I think it's a great opportunity, and Korea has changed from 2016 until now. Like I believe if I have to move to Korea as a startup, now it's even better.
Yeah.
Because they really recognize the need of the Korean startup ecosystem to diversify. There's a lot going on here when it comes to startups. Korean government is investing so heavily. There are a lot of like unicorns, like so much happening.
Unicorn? What's that?
Unicorn is a company that's over $1 billion valuation.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't mean that they have the money, but like their price, like their price, like their value of the company
is 1 billion and over. Okay. Oh,
1
wow.
billion.
Okay. What? That's a lot.
Yeah, so that's a lot. And I think Korea has like 13 or 14 these kind of companies.
In tech, right?
In tech. I mean, Kakao and Naver are one of those, but they're a little bit older. They're not like, they're corporations.
Yeah, they're not startups anymore. Yeah,
some of the gaming companies and like TOS, for example.
Oh, yeah,
like,
TOS is big now, too.
And then Coupang used to be like a startup, but they, you know,
they're doing amazing now. Yeah. It's like little Amazon. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's so much more than when I came. Like I remember when I came 2016 and, you know, you come and you want to network, right? And you go to a startup event and everything is in Korean. And I remember my first startup event was organized by Microsoft.
Oh, wow.
And they do speak English, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, welcome. We're going to have like, you know, like a small presentation.
Right.
Sit on the first row. And I'm sitting on the first row and I'm expecting presentation or something. It's going to be in English. And the guy that spoke to me perfect English, Korean, he comes on stage, speaks like for 40 minutes in Korean. And there's, oh, does anybody have a question? Chris, what do you think about my presentation? I'm 2 weeks in Korea.
I'm like, I don't know what I think about you. Like, what do you even answer to that? You didn't understand anything.
I'm like, did he
Yeah.
just by mistake spoke in Korean? It's just like, I feel like sometimes they're very inconsiderate.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Did they try to speak in English after that? Were you the only foreigner in this?
No, as I mentioned, there were 80 people, and then they shrink us to 40. So there was pretty nice group.
Yeah, foreigners.
Foreign, you know, we all of us are eager to network, right?
Of course, yeah.
Because networking is everything in Korea. You need to
everything.
build your network.
Yeah.
So every opportunity we go, and there's always good food, and like drinks.
Those networking events, even yours,
Yeah.
great food. Yeah, great.
But the language,
which is the most important thing, because you need to understand what's going on to be included in the whole thing. But has it gotten better when it comes to networking events? Like, has it gotten better?
Yeah, there are a lot of events that are organized in English, and recently, like in the beginning of this month, actually they opened a global startup center. It's in Tipstown in Gangnam.
Oh, okay.
Close to Yeoksan Station.
Yeah.
And it's specially for foreigners. If you want to go use the facility and you're like Korean, they're going to say sorry.
Wow. Look at us getting privileged.
Yeah, you know.
The foreigners are getting privileged.
And it's all sponsored by the Korean government.
Yeah.
So they're trying, and all the events there in English, and they like try to create like a community around it and promote. They're also introducing a new startup visa. So there's going to be like 2 ways as a startup to come.
Yeah.
The one that I am on, they're going to probably expand a little. I'm not sure. They haven't announced yet.
Yeah.
But they just announced a new startup visa, which is going to be kind of a merit visa. Basically, if you have like an extraordinary potential as a startup to do well in Korea, they're going to have like a committee, and they're just going to vote. Yeah, I mean, Chris looks pretty dope. You know?
Wow. And
you're
then
brat.
Then they're like, we'll give you the visa.
Yeah, like, okay you can stay in Korea.
You can take the visa. That's so interesting. It does seem like Korea is definitely trying to be more open to like foreign businesses, for sure. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like if Korea does want to be more global, it is already global, but to be global, you do have to be open to like foreign business, I feel like.
I think they realize it a little bit late, but better later than
never. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty late.
It is pretty late.
It's pretty late, yeah.
Like, one thing that still bothers me is like, there's so much happening, but because everything is in Korean and they're so comfortable doing it in Korean.
Very comfortable, yeah.
Like, the world doesn't know what's happening, right?
That's true.
I mean, K-pop, K-drama, the world is crazy about it.
Yeah.
The information is spread in English, so people know. But like for the startup world, there's so much happening.
Yeah.
Nobody knows because always in Korean.
Yeah.
So every startup community that wants to succeed needs to have like outpost. It's a conference or like something big that represents the community to the world, right? So I think there are too many big conferences here, but all of them sponsored by the government, run at the last possible moment in December, and with huge budget, everything in Korean, and like
it's not helping everybody.
And then every year, because it's like a tender process, like the company that organizes it changes. So there is no like brand building, there is no like continuity, you know. every year they come up with a new name for the conference. A new team is organizing. New people are being invited.
Okay.
So like, you cannot build a brand if you restart every year.
Every year is different people.
Yeah. So this is what is missing for me. Like, hey, you need to build the K startup brand. And for build the K startup brand, you need to have like, you know, kind of the big awards for like music, like, you know, Mama Awards.
Like Inkigayo, I think it's another one.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, what is it? Like
Inkigayo?
Mama and...
Inkigayo, Music Bank is another one.
I don't know. Anyway, but you know what I'm
We're
talking,
both like,
right?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah. If you were like the Grammys, I would have like, I know that one.
It's obvious I'm not
It's
K-pop thing.
Very obvious.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
You're still
But
helping
anyway,
the
you got
economy.
my point, right?
Yeah, I completely
this
understand.
is what I'm missing, like a big flagship event about the Korean startups and all run in English so people can come, experience, understand what's going on.
Yeah, because it seems like I feel like most foreigners will feel like those events are more welcoming to Koreans than like the global market if it's in Korean. Because you can't go and understand anything if you don't understand Korean, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe it's going to change, like you said.
I hope, like the startup center that I've mentioned is like a really good first step, and like the Minister of Startups and small companies open it. So I think there's a lot of commitment to it.
Yeah.
So we just need, as a startup, foreign startup community needs to live to the expectations and, you know, also be visible, you know.
Be out there,
Yeah.
which is great. I love that you're talking about this because now people can actually, you know that there is this startup visa that you can like come and get. And there are these government opportunities for people who are running businesses to come to Korea and do. So that's great. Let's go back a little bit more to you being in Korea. What have been your favorite things about Korea? Not to do with business. Let's get out of the business talk for a second.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, so many
There has
things.
to be a lot. Yeah,
right?
There has to be a lot.
So, coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah. No?
That's so random. I mean, of course, but it's so random.
I mean, I love coffee culture here. Because like,
yeah,
coffee shops become my office.
Oh, because you're discovering new coffee shops every time then. Yeah.
So I'm like, what is happening here? Why these coffee shops are so nice, so big?
Yeah.
And like, you're like, am I in a museum? Am I in an art gallery? And
am I in a church?
Coffee shop or a church?
There's a church one now. I was like, that's so interesting.
I mean, I've never seen something like that. Coffee culture in Korea, to me, is totally next level. Like,
do you think the coffee is good, or is it the theme that's good?
I think 2016, when I started like exploring the coffee culture and like going to different coffee shops, not everywhere the coffee was okay.
Yeah. It was just,
yeah. It was like, because, you know, it was kind of a new thing. You know, people go there for the beautiful cake or like for the setup, Instagram
just like
pictures.
a dessert thing. Oh,
I would see people just like ordering coffee and cake and just take the photos and just leave the drinks because like they're not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
But over time, I really believe it improved so much. Now that like with everything, when you try, like when you're new to wine and you're trying wine, everyone is good, right?
Yeah,
because it gives you like this like,
you're just like, I'm getting the buzz. It's wine. Yeah, you
it's
don't really know the
good.
notes or anything.
And they tell you it's $5. It's not good, right?
You get a headache the next day and you're like, what happened? That's
so I believe like, because Korean people want to go deep into everything. And this is the next thing you know, that really amazed me. Like, okay, coffee, but then you go to this big coffee shop.
Huge.
Yeah. And you see people sitting there like all the time. And they're not students. They're like...
grown people.
Yeah, grown-up people.
Super
and
grown.
they just like, I'll go like to grab something at 11 o'clock p.m. And they want to be people studying English and like, you know, on their iPads.
Yeah.
What is
coffee and cafe
here?
culture is huge. Yeah. What has been your favorite so far? Like, let me not say favorite. What has been the craziest cafe that you've seen in Korea?
You got me here. I need to think about it.
Think about it. For me, it was the church. The church one, I was like,
yeah.
Interesting.
The craziest one.
Let's say favorite then. That might be easier. Well, what has been your favorite cafe
Okay,
theme?
it's not the most amazing, but I have a favorite one because I'm sentimentally connected to it. And it's actually the coffee that when I was living in Yeoksam, I was hanging out a lot. It's called Alver. So a lot of my first things, Yeah, it's in between Shinonhyun Station and Gangnam.
ALVER?
Yes.
Is it the one that you had?
Yeah, yeah. That
Ah,
one.
okay. Because I was like, didn't we just go to this? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, at 2016, it was one of the big ones.
Okay.
You know, and I'm really happy that they maintained and like stayed in the business, right? Because it's not easy to be in this business, right?
Like 2 months later it's closed. A new one is open. It's always like that. Yeah.
So you know how crazy Gangnam is, and like everything is kind of like small, and like you kind of feel like oppressed sometimes by the people and everything.
Yeah.
So over at that time was like so big, and they had like these trees in front of it.
Yeah.
So like you're in the middle of Gangnam, but you feel like you're in the forest.
It's like nature in front of you. Yeah.
So I really liked it, and the coffee was really good all the time. And they make their own pastries.
Oh,
they
I've had their pastries
and
too,
they're so good, and they maintain, and then they never change them. What does that mean?
That means it's really
people
good.
love
People
them,
like
right?
it.
Like
Yeah.
if you don't need to change, like, and people buy it, it's good.
Yeah.
So this was like my go-to coffee, and every time I go there, like I organize luckily managed to get to know the owner.
Yeah.
He's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So I organized the
event.
Yeah, my creator event over there. But this coffee shop has like I have a lot of memories, and sometimes you don't need a fancy place.
You don't. Yeah.
You just need a place that gives you comfort, and it's good enough for you to be able to work.
I've been to Alver maybe 3-4 times, and it's just a very relaxing place. Like there's not a lot going on in the coffee shop, but you feel very relaxed. So I completely understand why you like it. Have you thought about the crazy one yet, or not yet? Or let's say most interesting that you've seen. Because you've been to so many.
Yeah,
places.
that's the problem, because I've been to so many, and it's so difficult
so
to.
Many.
There's like one that I really liked recently, Rainforest. It was like 1 year ago, but is it Rainforest?
It's called Rainforest, or you think it's called Rainforest?
I think it's called.
Your phone is over there. I don't think you have your phone
fine.
right now. I was like, are you reaching in your pocket for your phone? Because it's over there.
I'm looking for my phone. I need my support.
It's okay. But why was it interesting? Why was this? You can tell me later what the name is.
There's like the actual concept is pretty good.
Yeah.
They show like the weather forecast. And there's like a lot of water running around in the coffee shop.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like even the facade outside has like a kind of like a water coming down. So it's like,
I feel like I know
you're
this
like
one
surrounded
too.
by water everywhere you go.
Sounds very relaxing.
Pretty nice. Yeah.
Like super relaxing. Okay, interesting.
I mean, relaxing when a coffee shop is popular in Korea.
It's not relaxing. Yeah, because it's
like
just
people,
traffic. There's traffic, constant traffic. And you know what's crazy to me? Like, I find it so, because as I said before, I was also in Korea in 2014, and it was a lot of franchise coffee shops back then. It was like I don't even know if Tusam was a thing back then.
It was, yeah.
Was it?
Probably,
Tusam, Idea, like all these franchise coffee shops.
Starbucks, you don't know.
Starbucks is like 2 in each street. Just, I don't understand why you need 2.
Korean people actually love Starbucks.
It's like a social status thing, from what I've heard.
It is that.
Yeah.
And also a lot of companies actually give a lot of like
the coupons.
So
yeah, that's
like
true.
Get a free coffee shop.
That is so true. Yeah, like even for your birthday, somebody will send you like 10K for Starbucks. Yeah. And I'm always like, why is this Starbucks? Can we have some private coffee shops that have coupons, please? Do you prefer franchise coffee shops in Korea or private coffee shops?
I kind of like the independent ones because I know it's really hard to run such a venue, like establishment. And I honestly, sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I'm going to go to Starbucks.
Yeah, because it's just easier to grab.
But it's not my, that's not on the top of my list.
Not at all.
Yeah.
To be honest, no offense, their coffee's not that good.
Oh, no. Compared to Korean coffee shops, no, Starbucks is.
And I also feel like, I have this theory, obviously I don't know if this is true, I feel like private coffee shops take care of their espresso machines better than franchise coffee shops. Because you do need to clean that machine. But when you're a big franchise coffee shop, I feel like they don't have time to be caring about the machine. They're just trying to run the coffees as fast as they can. But when you're a private coffee shop owner, you want to take care of your brand, right? So that's my theory. Don't know if it's true, but that's how I feel. So I also prefer private coffee shops because I find them to be more sanitary.
Yeah, I think you're right, because usually when the coffee shop is privately owned and it's probably pretty small. I mean, some of them pretty big, but it's not uncommon for the owner to be
They're
behind
running
the
it.
coffee
Yeah.
shop, right? The
Yeah.
coffee machine, and you can see that
They're
everything
taking-
is so polished because it's
Yeah.
their passion.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
like their baby.
yeah, they're not like trying to like, they're not gonna be like rich and
Yeah.
drive Porsche
Yeah.
because they have a coffee shop.
That is true. Korea, it's very hard to see that.
Yeah.
Because coffee shops don't make so that much money, but it's very interesting how many there are. Sorry, y'all. They're building something. They're always building
I
something
mean,
when
the
I'm
area we
recording.
are, this is what it is.
Yeah, people always come to this area and they're like, "Are you sure your studio's here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if it's a little creepy, you're in the right area for sure, because it's a little creepy here." But no, it's like a very industrial area that we're.
It's okay.
Sorry, y'all. I'm pretty sure the mics can't even catch it. But yeah, that was really interesting that you said the coffee culture in Korea is your favorite. Is there something else that you relate Korea
it
to?
relates to traveling actually, because like I really after I realized that I have like a free time during the day,
Yeah.
which is pretty nice. I'm like, okay, where should I go?
Right. Oh my God, you can get up
And-
and just go now.
Yeah, and I just like sometimes I would just like grab my backpack, my laptop, and of course my phone, and just like go somewhere and explore like a temple or like I don't know, like
Ooh.
somewhere in the countryside.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always research for like, let's see, like go to a historical place because I'm pretty fascinated by history.
Yeah.
Kind of like old buildings, and it's really beautiful and interesting for me. I'm getting all right. I'm like.
Yeah, because
Like,
I don't
sound
go
like
to
a
those
Ajashi,
places.
Like, oh, let's read history. And,
Yeah, because I don't.
But-
I'm just kidding. I think people are just different. I'm
yeah,
not interested in
I
history,
like that.
so, yeah.
But then, remember, 3-4 p.m. I need to find a place to work.
to actually like sit and
so
work.
like, okay, where should I go? Where should I go? What's the next coffee shop?
Yeah.
And this is how I also do a lot of research for
Yeah.
coffee, because I need coffee, but I also need to work
Right.
when I travel.
Yeah, yeah.
So, kind of like it's a natural passion. Like, okay, let's go explore like some historical places, but then I need to find a good coffee shop.
Yeah, especially somewhere relaxing that you can
Yeah.
work, right?
And in the countryside, oh my God, they have
Yeah.
really good coffee shops
Oh,
everywhere.
I bet. And it's just chill. It's not
And
like a bunch of
it's-
traffic just going through all the
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I had a question. So for people who've never been to Korea, because I know you're very well traveled in Korea and outside of Korea too, of course. What advice would you give people who are coming to Korea and want to explore like you have?
I mean, if you have enough time, it's always really good idea to just get out of the city,
of Seoul, yeah.
because you can always return to Seoul. There's like Seoul's not gonna change.
It's
Like-
not, yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can always see the palace. You can always see the museum. You can always see this and that. There's always everywhere good food. But like just experiencing. I think like traveling outside of Seoul is experiencing real Korea. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He just run through Seoul to Busan for like 10 days. You should interview him.
Oh, tell him to come on.
Yeah.
Tell him to come on.
Really, really nice story.
Yeah.
So basically he, like, a lot of people go from Seoul to Busan biking.
Huh?
Biking.
By biking?
Yeah.
Driving, it's like 5 hours. How are you biking?
No, days, couple of days. Do you know what he did?
Wow, what
He
did he do?
ran.
He ran from Seoul to freaking Busan?
Yeah, for 9 days.
Is he alive still?
Yeah.
Are his legs okay?
You can invite.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, let me see your legs.
Yeah.
Let me see those feet. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So I was just like, I had like coffee with him this morning, and we were
Wow.
like talking, and he's like, like people outside of Seoul, like Korean people outside of Seoul, are so nice.
Oh my God, they're sweethearts.
They're like so nice, and
Yeah.
he like, story after story, how people
Wow.
took care of him,
Yeah, I
brought him
bet.
water, and like,
Yeah.
and I remember that I've experienced the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
like I was staying in a hanok house.
Bet
Hanok
that
house
was
is like
beautiful.
a old like fashion, but
Yeah.
it's not like newly built. And it was run from very old Korean couple, and they
Oh.
were so proud of this house. It was
Yeah.
in Suncheon, like Jeollado province. And I just rented the house for one night, and I go there, and I'm just like, like it's kind of a hotel, right?
Yeah.
But no, they really wanted to hang out with me.
Oh, wow.
I was the only guest.
Yeah.
And it was like 2017 or 18. My Korean was really rough. Now it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But the lady, she was like, "Oh, let's talk." Like, and she's asking questions, and I'm like,
I was like, man, I don't know how to
I
respond.
don't speak Korean."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I want to talk to you."
Right. Oh,
She's,
wow.
"I'm going to teach you Korean."
Wow.
I'm like, "Okay." She took 2 hours. She was grilling me. teaching me Korean. And like in Seoul, when you try to speak to somebody Korean, like, oh, very good, very good. And
한국말 너무 잘해요. And then they just leave and you just said hi. And that's it.
Exactly. And they switch to English, right?
Yeah. They're like,
so she was grilling me for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
And then she was like, but it's okay. I'll invite my friends. So she threw a party for me in the Hanok.
And you had just rented it to stay there for one night.
So she invited all her friends and she cooked and they danced and sang. And
oh my God.
It was amazing.
That is so sweet.
And she was like, oh, he doesn't understand Korean, but anyway, let's sing for him.
He's like, he knows the vibes. It's okay. Just sing.
It was like so heartwarming.
Yeah.
You know?
Bet.
Yeah. It was so good. And like, this really impressed me. Because like sometimes when you live in Seoul as an expat, you know, like people push you in the metro. Sometimes we don't have the best experience in Seoul. Seoul is a big city. It's like New York. Like people don't care about others.
Nobody cares. Nobody's stopping in New York. Get out the way. Yeah,
same here.
Seoul. Yeah,
like
that's
they're their own bubble and they're not considerate. And why should they be?
Yeah, it's a big city. So
so when you travel in the countryside is a totally different story.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of like foreigners, expats complain that like, for example, guys with beard.
Oh, okay.
That kids come and grab
and touch their feet.
Why are you complaining about it? Like these kids, they've never seen something like that.
Yeah.
And they're so like nice and they just want to come touch you and run away because they're scared of you.
They don't know what to say.
Yeah. But people are like, let's say, more open-minded. And I mean, tons of stories. Like I was, again, like down south. I really like the southern part of Korea. Food is good, weather is amazing, it's not crowded.
They're super nice. Yeah.
Everything is really, really nice.
Yeah.
So I was like going to a temple, one of the Sonamsa, it's called Sonamsa Temple.
Yeah.
Check it out. And it's famous, it's a UNESCO site.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the headquarters of a Taego order, not the Joge order, another one.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's really beautiful old temple and it's amazing in April, like middle of April, because it has a lot of fluffy cherry blossom. Do you know this like super like rich fluffy cherry blossoms?
I only know the Seoul ones, the ones that are kind of thinner.
Yeah, no, it's the totally different. So the whole temple is like covered in this.
Wow,
so beautiful. And you know, I just discovered it on Instagram. Sometimes this is how I travel to answer your question.
You gotta find stuff on Instagram.
Where should I go? I go on like explore page and find let's see how can I go there.
Wow, okay.
And I just go.
Yeah.
And it sometimes takes a lot of effort.
Of course.
And this one was not easy to get. So in order to get there, I had to sleep in Suncheon for one night and then get in the morning.
And then go there, okay.
Because like it's in the middle of nowhere and there are like two buses. One bus goes in the
Oh
morning.
God, it's one of those.
Yeah.
One of those. Yeah, those
so
are
you
harder.
need to know the schedule.
Yeah.
And if you miss it, you miss it.
Missed
You go next day.
Yeah. And now you gotta sleep over another night. Yeah.
So I'm there and like I'm enjoying it. It's like really beautiful day and I'm getting hungry and I just forgot that sometimes in the countryside you cannot use your card. You need to have cash. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it
that's
happens.
true. Yeah, sometimes they're like, we don't do that.
Because like in Korea, you kind of assume that everywhere you can, and it's true. Like I've been to like
in Seoul,
I don't know, crazy places on the top of the mountain, and you can swipe your
card. Yeah. Or even your phone. You just tap your phone.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Done. Yeah.
But this temple, they had like a tea house.
Yeah.
And I was so thirsty, and I wanted to buy coffee, but they said, "Oh, sorry,
cash only."
Cash only.
Oh wow.
No, and I was like not pushy. Like I probably could have asked somebody to borrow me money. I can transfer through Kakao. But I was like, okay. I knew there's like a convenience shop by the bus stop, and I go there. But it's not 7-Eleven. It's not like CEO.
It's one of those
like old ones, like run by a really old lady.
Yeah.
And I go and like, oh, can I get a water? Like, and she's like, yeah, sure. Boom, like super cold water. And I give her my card. She's like, oh
my God.
And I'm devastated because it's
I would want to give up.
I'm so thirsty and I'm hungry and the bus is going to come like in 40 minutes. I need to wait and there is 1 hour to the city.
Yeah.
Means like 2 hours. I just need to survive, right? And I'm like, oh, what should I do? I just went out.
God. Yeah.
And like 5 minutes later, I see this like lady coming towards me with 2 bottles of water.
Wow.
She's like, this is for you. You don't need to pay. And I cried that moment.
I will cry too, because I will be like,
because
I
like,
almost died.
she was not supposed to do it.
She didn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and she didn't come with one.
She came with 2.
She came with 2 bottles. You know?
That is so sweet.
And it's really touched me.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
moments like this, you're like, okay, I need to know more about this country.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's so sweet. And I feel like those are the moments that are very rare in Seoul. Like, I don't know.
It can happen,
but it's rare. Like,
rare.
countryside-wise, it's quite normal for people to want to help you just because of, like, the kindness of their heart. And that's why, like, I completely agree with you. I feel like if you do come to Korea, you should travel out of Seoul and go to the countryside because it's a different, like, feeling. You just feel like everybody is so kind.
I think the whole idea of like, I know it's not easy to travel outside of Seoul.
It's not. That's the problem too, yeah.
But the whole idea of, you know, being out of control and experiencing the goodness of people, because like I've lost myself many times.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've never felt desperate. You know, it happens that you miss the one bus that
and then
comes
you're like,
a
well.
day, but it's. I've never felt threatened. I've never felt that I'm in trouble. I've never felt that something bad's gonna happen to me ever.
Yeah, because you just feel like it's quite safe and people are so helpful that you just know you're gonna be
there's
fine.
Always a way. This is what
always.
I like.
In Korea, there's always a way. To be honest, I feel like, I don't know if I should say this. I feel like you can go to the police station and they will drive you home. Like Korean police are known to just be like, oh, okay, we'll help you. I've seen it happen, I think 2 times before where, excuse me, cops have helped somebody get home before.
Oh yeah, I've seen it, especially in Gangnam when I left.
They'll just drive you home and it's like a personal taxi almost. And it's just very nice to see because even the cops are just helpful.
I have a crazy story about
it. Oh,
it.
tell me.
Like second year in Korea, and there's another batch of K-Startup Grand Challenge.
Yeah.
I've already graduated, and like the newcomers next year are here. And they're like a couple of like party guys. They really wanted to party, and I went with them a couple of nights, and I can see that they're like a little bit of a troublemakers, you know, like when you party in Korea, you have to follow the rules a little bit.
You can't be doing illegal stuff.
Yeah, not just that, but like they see how Korean people, like Korean guys at like levels are very aggressive sometimes, right? And they tried that, but because they are foreigners, it's seen differently, right?
Yeah.
So the girls like a few more intimidated by that. Like if it's a Korean guy, they know what to do. They know.
At least they can speak the language too, you know. Yeah.
So I see these guys like just like look what the Korean guys do, and they just follow. You know, I'm like, oh my god, this is not gonna end up well.
It's not.
So they, you know, they get tipsy, and I'm like, okay, it's the right time for me to leave. I don't want to witness. I don't want to be in charge of anything. I don't want to be part of this. Bye. You know?
Yeah.
And I just said bye, and like, you know, went slept, and this one of the guys calls me next morning. Hey, come into this hotel. You need to help me. I'm like, okay. So I go to this hotel. It's like I don't know what happened. I don't remember. And basically what happened, he got really tipsy. He got into a fight with somebody. They called the police. Police came. They didn't know what to do. It was like really late. You know, they need to find like somebody who speaks the language, file a report.
Right.
And I just talked to the owner of the hotel. She said, oh, the policeman came and paid for him to sleep here.
Wow. I saw this going another direction, by the way.
Can you believe that?
That is so nice of them. And they didn't ask for a refund, I guess, right?
They're like, well, okay, if we get him into the police, we need to do file a report. Like, we're going to work the whole fucking night.
Right.
Until we find, like they didn't speak any English, probably. He only spoke English.
Like, what do we do now? Yeah.
Okay, 30,000.
They're like, just go in the hotel and sleep.
Yeah, just like sleep and you're going to figure it out tomorrow.
That is crazy.
And like, in which country?
Not in America.
I'm like,
keep throwing
you're gonna
sleep.
You're gonna sleep in the police in the basement.
Yeah, they just put you in. Even they will put you in a cell, and you can sleep in the cell for a night. But to pay for a comfortable bed to sleep in,
I was like, are you sure this is what happened? She said, oh yeah. They just paid for him to sleep here.
Listen, sometimes
I'm like,
that is amazing. And Korean police, like, I think because I'm American, I don't really like police presence. It freaks me out a little bit, but Korean police do have a sweeter demeanor about them. Like, it's like
okay, I like this word. It's so trending.
A demure. The Korean police are demure. I just say demeanor, but they're also demure.
They're very demure.
They're very demure.
They are.
I hate that damn word.
Yeah, they are.
Demure. They're very I'm going to keep saying it now. Demure. And I've also heard cases of them even like driving girls home because they're drunk. And they'll be like, yeah, you need to go home. And they'll just drive girls home. And I'm just like, what country is doing this except Korea? Because that is such a beautiful thing to see.
I mean, yeah, it's true. There's not everything is like, flowers and
roses.
So, like, there are a lot of things that I don't like. Yeah. So like, I don't want people to think that we like the Korea booze. Everything is so good in Korea.
Yeah.
It's not. But we try to focus on the positive things. Like, maybe we can have like even a longer conversation how other things are not okay.
Chad, if we started about the laws and foreigners here, that's like a 3-hour conversation. I'm trying to be super positive because your story was positive, so I had to add that on. But
I think it's really important to stay positive, and I see that a lot of in order to survive and to thrive in the country, you need to stay positive. This is kind of like my way of keeping myself sane when I moved to Korea.
Yeah.
Because everything is so new and everybody has the tendency, why are they doing this? Like in my country, we do it this way.
We don't do it like that. Yeah.
Well, they should do it this way. They should do that because in America, in Bulgaria, in Europe, and everybody has an idea how these people should run their own country, right? And I realized I'm not here to change this country.
I'm not here to change or teach anybody anything.
I'm just here to enjoy. And in order for me to enjoy, I need to understand why. I mean, I'm not just going to accept it like this. But everything has a reason. And when you understand what's the reason, then you're more tolerant.
100%.
Even for things that you're like, this is not right.
Yeah, like I hate this, but when you try to understand it.
When you understand the background, why people do these things, then you have better understanding, and I think builds your tolerance. And I believe a lot of expats have problems living in Korea because they don't want to accept the Korean way and understand why certain things are the way they are. I still hate please understand our unique situation answers when that's not unique in this situation. Just fix my problem.
Please just fix it. But yeah, that's 100% true. To be comfortable in Korea, I think you do have to try and understand the culture and understand that they've been doing this that way for so long that it's going to be hard for them to change it. And you'll probably find more peace and positivity that way.
I mean, I'll probably not accept some things, but...
some things, for sure.
It doesn't bother me that much because I realize, okay, this is what they know, this is how they feel about it.
Yeah, for years. So, and if you don't want to accept it, just step back. Nobody's forcing anybody to accept anything. So, are you comfortable with us ending the episode here? Are you?
Totally.
Okay, I was going to be like, wait, do you have something else to say? Wait,
I do have so many more stories, but...
You can always come back, by the way. I'm always welcome to having people come back. And if you have a story, we can talk about the laws and foreigners.
I have so many stories, but let's not, get over the typical length of a podcast.
Come back next time, because I do like when people tell stories. I really enjoyed your storytelling on how you came to Korea, and then just talking about coffee shops was also really nice. So thank you for coming. I feel like he's thinking of another story. Are you thinking
I'm still thinking about the most unique coffee shop that I've been to, but I have been to so many coffee shops. So it's
You've been to a lot. Yeah. So it's completely fine. Maybe next time when you come, you can tell me.
Okay.
You can find a really unique
Maybe
one.
we can do it in this unique coffee shop.
Ooh, I wish they would let me film in there.
We can ask.
You never know. That is true. Anyways, guys, that was it for today's episode with Chris. Chris, thank you so much for coming today. I had a great chat with you. Guys, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you're a podcast listener, make sure to give us 5 stars so we can get up in the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode of Korea Unfiltered, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.